Steam is better.
Sir, honestly, the dogs are better.
Sir, I have the man.
Sir, my name is Raisin. $1 billion, sir. $1.1 billion, sir. Sir, he has a cold. Don't shake his head.
Sir.
Sir!
Sirs and madams, hello. It's your buddy Admiral Teague. I'm here with my friend Resolute Germ. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. How you doing?
You know what? I saw a movie today that I think everyone will enjoy, and I guess that will be where I start. Have you heard of a movie called Send Help?
I've seen it, yes.
What did you? Oh, you saw it. What did you think of the movie?
I wasn't a huge fan of it.
Really? Wow, we're gonna end up on the different sides of this one. I recommend Send Help. I think, especially now that it's on paid home video, you know, maybe you want to let it drop one more price notch if you're on the fence, but like with the ability to watch the movie with like 5 people for $14, if you're just sitting around, you want a movie, this is a movie for you. It's an hour and 54 minutes, perfect length. There's not a minute wasted. I felt the pacing was great. The idea was somewhere between, let me look at my notes from earlier that I had when I spoke about this with Lance. I felt that this movie had a few things going on in it, all of them very interesting. It was part American Psycho. It was part Lord of the Flies. It was part like that Anthony Hopkins movie, is it The Edge, where him and Alec Baldwin end up getting stuck out in the wilderness, and like it was very much like that movie, and like they have to like show their quality, and Alec Baldwin's a little hurt, but of course he's younger and tougher than Anthony Hopkins, but Hopkins becomes obsessed, and you know, like the same qualities that made him able to be like a successful avaricious businessman make him able to be a successful douchebag boss in the wild, you know, of nature. But hey, I want to stop for a moment and thank Ruby Hoove for gifting a membership to a member of our channel. I thank you so very much. It was given to Edge of Time. Hey, Edge of Time, welcome to the channel. You received a membership. And also, thank you for the very generous $2 super chat. So nice of you. We'll have a great time, and we'll do our best to be as entertaining as possible. Although that first few seconds there where we're trying to figure out how to beam in without, you know, doing anything differently. The YouTube format, really weird. As you guys may have expected, I've been a little hung up on making sure a few things are done differently around here so we can stay away from terms of service violations that seem to be popping up left and right with people, whether deserved or not. So, okay. I thought American Psycho was in there. I thought that it had Terrible Bosses was in there. And of course, Lord of the Flies and Single White Female. Would you say that that's accurate, or the ones that you know?
Pretty accurate, yes. I'll admit that it is interesting up to the point that you figure it out.
But the thing is, I didn't figure out how it was going to end. I couldn't figure out who was going to prevail.
Oh, I figured that out after. Once the girlfriend shows up, you know exactly what's going to happen to her, beat for beat.
I didn't know that that was real until she found until she found stuff later. I thought that was a dream until stuff later confirmed it. Guys, hit the like and follow. Let me say hello to everybody who's here. Let's see who we got. We have a packed house tonight. Germ, we got some live ones, buddy. Let's see who we have. Hello to Sig Valderson, Jonathan Hancock, John the Beagle Dad, The Real Head Case, Lombardi 1969, Rock of the Brave, and Ruby Hoove. I think that's all of you. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Lombardi, welcome. You know, we're talking The Edge. So you tell me, Germ, you were able to figure out who would prevail.
Yes, mainly because it's Sam Raimi.
Because he has a reputation for being good in a way that Ridley Scott is good with certain types of characters.
Certain types of characters in certain types of movies. It was.
Are you calling it woke? Would you say it's a woke movie?
Not outwardly woke. Some of the parts are a little bit unbelievable when it comes to the survivor bits.
What did you think was
So
particularly unbelievable? I thought it like almost worked out. Like, here's our setup, guys. We have a secretary. She's mousy. She's not really a secretary. She's from strategy and planning. She helps the firm, the venture capital firm, figure out how to get through and around and maximize contracts, leverage debt, acquire more assets. And it's implied, but not really talked about, that maybe they're vulture capitalism doing no good for anyone, right? Like, they're not the most sympathetic company. They're like
no,
hedge fund.
they're they're
Unprincipled
a
hedge
hedge fund.
fund or something. Yeah. But it's implied that they're relatively unprincipled. And if they had any principles at all, they're out the window, because here comes the new boss, and he's like horrible bosses. He's only like 30 and he's a dick. What did you think at the setup point where we start the movie really strong? They open the door and they're blasting one way or another. Now, I don't know if it was the theater I was in, so to speak, or where you saw it. Was the bass over modulating and the mix kind of off in the music, like the way she would set it up, like kind of quirkily, or is that just a flaw in the way I saw it?
That might have been the way you saw it, but I watched it on my phone.
When I hear the Blondie version of Rip It to Shreds that opens this movie, I hear the difference because it's the 1999 or 2005 version where they redo their own songs. After long fights with rights, like with Alex Kurtzman, they re-record their own songs and have the new band play it without them having rights. Only the songwriters have rights. The band got paid for a session. They keep the rights. And now when you hear Blondie, Debbie, when she was like 65, like went in there and sang all that shit again. And the music's a little different. It's not totally different. It's them covering themselves almost exactly. They wanted to cut the old members out of the revenue stream, but in the version I had, like the movie, like the song is like almost painfully loud for a long time, but I love Rip It to Shreds. And so I'm getting into it. And as the song keeps thundering forward, we see her doing her actuarial job, talking about like what's going to happen. She pulls out the headphones and she's in the real world of the office, and we can see she has like mousy personality disorder. Like, she's not that authentic as a person. Like, she goes to work and she thinks hard about her job and she doesn't have any other life. Things didn't really work out or something. The ball didn't bounce right. We'll find out more later. But she's all about work. She's great at her job, but she doesn't really possibly, it might be a fair call to say she doesn't have the personality to run a meeting or be commanding. Like,
Yeah.
she needs to be managed. She can't be the point person on anything. And she would need a couple of years of working on this, and it would probably involve something like along the lines of cognitive behavioral therapy. Sum up Linda Little.
Well, you did a pretty good job. Just a mousy personality type, not great with people, can't talk to save her life. Basically, nobody.
A talented nobody, but a very mundane human being. She's just somebody in that office, in that stall. She's going to sit there in that cubicle and she's going to outperform other people, but it's because life maybe didn't go so great. And she doesn't have any like realness to what she's doing. Like, she lives, she goes to work and she goes home and she talks in an unhinged manner to her canary or her, whatever it was, her parakeet. And, I kind of thought that was one of the things that one showed she was greedy, because it goes back to one of the earliest silent movies called Greed. And like this one unrealistic person who's around the money and has the keys to the money, but has no interest in anything but the admiration and power that the money brings. They sort of have this bird that they talk to and that they like are all obsessed on. And the villain of the story, an evil dentist named McTeague, he is married to this woman, and he sort of has other designs, like using the money for more utilitarian means, like to elevate themselves out of poverty. But she just wants to look at it. She's weird that way. Like, she's different, and she drives him to the point of frustration. So I think there was a little bit of that early, and it's one of the first ever hit movies. It's a hit as a silent movie. It gets remade a couple of times. It's an American classic. A lot of people read it in college. So I thought that was a little woven in there. And her socially awkward thing was very single white female, which is not a Sam Raimi movie, but is a Bridget Fonda movie. And Jennifer Jason Leigh is the same kind of person we see. Did you ever see Single White Female? It is before your time.
I saw it a long, long time ago.
This is a better movie than Single White Female, but do you understand the character sort of getting nuttier?
Yeah. A bit obsessive, especially with the male lead, and they just push it too far.
In Single White Female, it's two chicks, but yes, in this one, instead of an apartment being the isolating place, what happens is this. They work at the same company. It's horrible bosses. The boss's father, the boss has just died. He was dependent on her. She was great at stuff. And since he's died, the son is going to take over. And this is the first time she's going to see him at work. And she met him once at the Christmas party. She seems to have a completely incorrect read on how the meeting went. He definitely won't remember her. She thinks that she really made a knockout impression. She's a total weirdo. She talks to her bird. She makes tuna fish sandwiches. She's very dedicated, and you need people like her at your business. I think part of this might be that everyone has their own individual value, but like you need people like her who can super focus on work. But like one thing she's doing is she's working through lunch and just eating her at her desk, and it's making for an unpleasant work environment, even if it is maximizing her work ability. To which I say she probably should have had her own office years ago if she's that weird but that valuable. It's not really the point, though. She's got a supervisor. He's riding her pretty hard, and she's kind of just not even cognizant of the disrespect. She knows it's there. She understands that it might be harder for her because she's a woman. That's not something she really dwells on. And the other woman in the office doesn't seem to register that as a real valid complaint. And we've never seen Rachel McAdams look this kind of bad before. Her ass looks fat. She's wearing like a cotton skirt. She has no fashion whatsoever. She's just got like a shirt that it's not a destructive shirt or anything like that. It's very boring. Her hair, boring. Her glasses, boring. The only thing that's interesting about it is, I guess it's a statement on how we live in our own world once we put those headphones on. She's out of touch with everybody at the office, isn't she?
Yeah, very out of touch.
Her coworkers are half her age, right?
Mostly, yeah.
And they want to go out drinking, and they want to go out and sing karaoke, and they want to go do stuff. And she tells them how much she loves Blondie and how much she loves karaoke and how that's the best karaoke place in town. And she's sort of assuming that she's invited on this office outing. And you can tell that they made a mistake talking about it around her, and no one really wants weirdo Linda there, right?
Yeah, she's the odd man out on, I'm guessing, pretty much everything in that office.
It's like that guy fucked up by talking about what was going on outside the office in front of her. And welcome, everybody. It's great to see you all. Welcome to the show. We're talking about the movie Send Help, which Sam Raimi, I thought, had moments where he had some of his best work, not outright best work, but some of his best work, like well represented. Like he did things that he had done in the past in a way that was still artful, but he didn't become a slave to being a horror movie guy. This movie was a satirical comedy. What do you think, Jerm?
I didn't really get the comedy part to it.
It was definitely a comedy. It wasn't funny to you, but okay. Here's why it's satire, right?
Oh yes, it is satire, but as far as
sarcasm?
actually being funny, I didn't get the funny part.
Oh, okay. So, guys, there's going to be a meeting for an acquisition in Bangkok. They got to fly from what we assume to be the west coast of the U.S. I think they filmed it in like New Zealand and like Thailand, if I remember correctly. It's not that important. It looks pretty good and pretty exotic. They have a good location. What happens is there's going to be a merger and an acquisition. Her new supervisor is not going to get through this on his own. He needs her to help her get through it. So they bring her into the meeting, and she's going to have to fly with them from, it's implied Cali to Thailand, Jerm?
I believe so.
Or is it China? They're going to somewhere in it. Doesn't really matter where they're going because they don't get there. They don't get there in a plane crash that's pretty fucking funny. And what I thought was a really good movie plot device, rather than spinning headlines, they find, and I guess that means that this is a CBS Paramount movie, they find her audition tape for Survivor.
Yeah, I believe it's just in there to justify the goings on the island. So
Well,
I
every
didn't
book,
too much into it.
every book in her apartment was also about survivalism. She had books on her interests were like survivalism, prepping, botany, plants, edible plants, non-edible plants, flowers. Her interest was like how to survive. Like obviously she'd been a fan of Survivor. Like if you think about it, she's like 46 years old, right? Maybe 45 years old, give or take. Rachel McAdams, am I in the right ballpark?
Yeah, like that.
All right. So she's 25 years, 25 seasons, 50 seasons of Survivor over 25 years, something close to that, right? So 2000-ish Survivor. So when she was 25 and she was young and hip and happening and still had a life before she became the Bob Cratchit of this company, she liked Survivor and she's been watching it ever since. So she wants to be on Survivor. And so it almost makes sense because like she has such a solitary life. It's like, seems to me that she's probably jogging all the time to be ready for Survivor. What do you think, Jerm?
Yeah, that's probably a safe bet. She's definitely into survivalists, fitness. She fell in love with that show, and God help, she never got over it.
And she's going to YouTube University about Survivor for the rest of the time. It seems to be what's going on, right? And also, she's reading. She's been before there was an internet. She was already a big reader. That's one of her strengths. She reads, and he thinks of her as the mousy chick Linda from accounting. She thinks of herself as long-term thinker and funny person. Linda, the person from strategies and acquisitions. So that sort of even comes into it, like how these two people view themselves. And he's always on top in the beginning of the movie as far as the power structure. They get on their Gulf Stream. They're going to Thailand, and she's sort of in back working away, and she's working away, and she's working away. And her boss has already told her that he doesn't have much confidence in her, and she might not be the kind of person who could ever lead a meeting. And he doesn't see her as someone who's ready for an executive position. But with a little work, maybe. So he also has made it clear that he's going to ship her out to the satellite office because he can't stand her. And she freaked him out, and she's gross and inappropriate. He wasn't wrong, was he? The way she handled the meeting.
Her entire behavior, demeanor, actions points directly to not fit for an executive position.
But very good for what she's doing. Maybe deserves a bump in salary.
Maybe a little bit of bump in salary, but in no circumstances put her in charge of people.
Not yet. He was right. She needed some mentoring. And then her other, hey, Krimlon, I sent you a pass in case you felt like coming on and just decompressing. You're allowed to hang out and talk about your takes. You don't have to have seen the movies. We'll move into other stuff later. And then you'll find different ways to call me gay. That's what Krimlon does. That's why he's out there. So it says, wait, this is a movie? I thought Teags kidnapped Jerm. I thought I would have to rescue him. You have the ability to jump on here and rescue him if you want. But as far as this goes, no, Send Help was, to me, an interesting movie. Germ, I guess it will probably land in the low B, high C area. I don't think it tanked on him, but because it seems like so far it's keeping him interested. What did you think? I thought the performances were strong by both main cast members. Really, really strong.
They were fairly good. Not very impressive to me, but the subject matter is just. I'd like to see Sam Raimi try to broaden his horizons a little bit.
Well, we already
get down into the same basic movie.
That might be true. Maybe he's got an authentic contact flag coming his way. But here's the deal: Sam Raimi is setting up the same situations that he always does in a lot of ways. You're right. But at the same time, unfortunately, no Bruce Campbell cameo that I noticed. But Bruce having his own struggles, we wish him well. We love Bruce Campbell. So, Sam Raimi, he seems to have gotten a good degree of his mojo back. This is not the man who made Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, is he?
No, this version of Sam Raimi actually has cash in his pocket and not taking a last minute job to pay some bills.
And he does have some feeling for this movie, and he does try to build these characters. We're not going to wreck this movie for you as far as the outcome. We'll leave the ending intact. I'm saying it's worth watching. I'll take you up to a point where you won't be too spoiled. We've only gotten to 15 minutes. They do a lot of plot work in that first 20 minutes of this movie. At 30 minutes, we're on this island. What did you think of the pacing that way?
I wish it would have been a little bit faster, but I understand why they took their time.
In the middle there, it didn't die though. Maybe it could have been a little faster. I don't think it died.
I would have taken at least 5 minutes off of it.
So Jerem thinks it died. All right. But the thing is, the movie was either 2 hours or 154. So it's already flirting with like they were kind of under pressure to have a movie that was longer than 90 minutes. And he just didn't feel, like 2 hours seems like right in there. Like some cuts of Wrath of Khan that were theatric were like exactly 2 hours or 1 hour, 58 minutes or something like that. Because there's a part with Scotty that gets cut. There's 2 scenes with him. And if you cut them, you cut like a minute and a half out of your movie and you drop to like 1 hour, 58 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. But just for pacing and timing, I would have cut this entire movie by maybe 15 or 20 minutes.
All right. I can see like how you could take out maybe 5 minutes. I don't think you'd take out 15 or 20. John was going to go to the launch. I'm sorry he couldn't make it, my friend. It was funny. Sam Raimi Spider-Man humor in the background. Yes, we saw some spiders in the cave. What do you think when they ran to the cave and we saw the spider webs and stuff? That was a cool tribute to the Spider-Man movies. I thought that I felt like he was self-aware and he knows who Sam Raimi is in this movie, at least. What did you think?
He is a little self-aware on that. So I'll give him credit on that part.
This is a movie where the person that you are rooting for switches multiple times unless you can't stand the way Rachel McAdams comes across. The movie ends up with the two of them on an island stranded. She has the skills to keep them alive. The thing is, if Germ doesn't believe she's good enough to do all the amazing stuff, that's accounted for in the movie, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of all that setup they did to make her this huge survivalist turns out to be completely worthless.
It was a good ruse for you as a fan, making you think that was how she was operating, because once they expose that maybe she's got like an ace in the hole, she finds a couple of things on the island that make life easier for her by a lot. And for most of this movie, the male lead, he messes up his leg when this plane crashes. And it's one of the funniest plane crashes. Would you agree the plane crash was funny?
It was probably the most entertaining part of the movie.
When this plane comes apart, what happens is this jet stream, this Gulf Stream is headed towards Thailand or wherever, Malaysia. And, there's already the plane mystery stuff about that part of the world from a few years back. And the stewardess or the flight attendant comes out and she goes, please, strap yourselves into your seats and put on your seatbelts. We're going to encounter some rough weather. And they're like, one guy jumps in his seat and he's trying to buckle his seatbelt, and the new boss mocks him a little bit. He's like, fuck you, you coward. At that moment, the plane gets hit by major turbulence from below. His friend gets thrown into the ceiling. Then the plane is out of control. From that moment on, the one guy flies to the back of the plane. Everyone who didn't get into their seats flies to the back of the plane. There's two guys rolling around in back. She strapped herself into her seat, and she's also made a decision that she's not going to give her best for this company anymore right before the weather hits. So we see her delete what would have been a game-changing suggestion for her boss, because what happens is right before the storm hits, they find her audition tape for Survivor. One of her bosses found it, and they're watching it to mock her. she takes off the music, her headphones that she uses to go into her own little world. And what happens is she becomes cognizant that they're mocking her, and she figures out what it is they found, and she's becoming embarrassed, but she's not going to lose it. And there's a couple of points in this movie where I thought she gave very good performances where she's like, don't cry, don't cry. Like when she's trying to convince herself to be strong. The movie comes down to the plane goes down in one of the funnier plane crashes this side of Fight Club. The guy gets thrown to the back of the plane, grabs a hold of her. She's not trying to save him. She's kind of trying to save him. And then he goes, give me your seat. And he goes after her seatbelt and he tries to choke her out while another guy is holding on to him. So he's pulling the Kirk, I have had enough of you, kicking the guy in the face while he's trying to pull her seatbelt loose and choke her out at the same time. He's a douchebag on both ends of the human caterpillar. What did you think of that? A human centipede. What did you think of that, Jerm?
That part was a little bit, that part was a little bit over the top for me. In that situation, you'd expect him to be clawing, grabbing, and shouting, not going after to choke her.
Here's the thing. In a lot of the more dramatic moments of the movie, the music turns to be very whimsical, doesn't it? It's dramatic, but there's whimsical hits in there, almost like the John Williams score for Raiders. Like, I'm not saying it's that good, but it's like it's got that sort of like approach.
It is your first hint that she is not entirely stable.
First of all, she in this one situation, she has to do what she has to do. This guy's trying to kill her. So he is directly like, everyone's going to die anyway. It doesn't matter. But he acts deeply dishonorably in his final moments. He gets sucked out the window of the plane. And in a great moment, what happens is the cutlery flies forward and some of it gets him. And in foreshadowing, a knife hits the door of the plane, but doesn't go out. As he flies out, what happens? His belt or something gets caught on it, or that character wears suspenders. His suspenders get caught on it. It's giving it just enough give as the plane is decelerating and heading towards the sea. The side of the plane is open. You see the ocean coming up at you, and he is stuck in the window, and he's yelling, "Do something! Help me! Do something! Help me!" And she looks at him for a minute, and this was the first hint. The music goes whimsical, and she slowly pulls down the shade and looks forward at stows her computer and prepares to die, or stows whatever is loose in front of her, does the best she can to get ready to see if maybe she can make it, but she's pretty sure she's going to die. And everyone up front is just screaming, and there's noise, and we never would have heard this guy over the exploding engines and the plane going down and the fact that he was outside the plane, but that's our world, so it's already a little ridiculous, and I'm wondering how much is real already. Were you wondering maybe how much was real? Because she closes her eyes, and when she opens them again, you know what I mean? Like the movie offers us to believe there's a few things going on.
I never got that sense from this movie.
The weird music cues start getting me, and the reversal of the power dynamics started getting me in Send Help. So I was wondering where they're going to, and I caught the early weird whimsical music cues. So the fact that she was reading a lot had a little bit of what might be thought of as like cinematic Asperger's, where she's like reading a lot, and she has a super high IQ. She can read like 25,000 word documents and find like the one loophole in a poorly formed sentence. She's really good at pattern recognition and all the other stuff. Plane goes down. They end up on this island. She does have enough skill to get them through about 4 or 5 days. He's got a broken leg. He doesn't have a broken leg. He has a slashed up leg with a bad, deep laceration. She knows enough to maybe prevent the infection. That was believable. She knows enough to keep them fed, but like they're eating like snail, like pounded up snail meat and stuff that was like, it might have sustained them for a couple of days and kept them from getting too weak to find more sustenance, which she does. She gets worked up into a frenzy. And like the best part of this movie is, and I thought the best fight, although the CGI was wonky, we'll end our commentary and direct spoilers here. About halfway through the movie, it's Rachel McAdams versus a fucking wild boar. And it's hilarious. It was as good as Liz Stafford versus the Joker Wolf, wouldn't you say? Which is not a high bar. That's TV. This was a movie.
It is fairly interesting, but as you said, the CGI was a little bit wonky, so it took me out of it.
The creature moved a little bit mechanically almost. I'm like, is this a mechanical prop? Did they go with some? Is this animatronic? What did they do? Did they build some sort of drone, like little drone? So at any rate, it's her versus this wild boar, and you wouldn't think she's going to be able to pull it off. But what happens is she's all in. So she drops out of the tree and gets a non-lethal but very damaging. It's going to die like the next day, but very damaging shot in on it, which breaks her spear, but also breaks the tree limb she's on. She falls on one side, the boar falls on the other. It charges forward where the spear broke off, locks into the log that fell from the limb of the tree that fell. So it can't get right at her. It buys her a second. She pulls a piece of the broken spear out. This thing comes charging at her and self-impales itself. And like now it's done double damage to itself. And she's just gotten lucky twice. At this point, she starts beating the thing and going after it with everything she's got. And she's doing some really great acting. And this is where our CGI pig is at least at its best. Would you say?
Yeah, that's probably the only good part for that pig.
That may have been a practical pig for that moment, because what happens is the pig pukes blood on her and she stabs it in the neck again with like a piece of the spear. And then it really unloads everything it's got inside of her, blood and bile and viscera all over her face. Sorry, that got me I was so into it. I hit my microphone. But like she's screaming primal screams. She's covered with blood. She's covered with like half digested pig vomit. And then she goes after this thing like one more time. It finally dies. And she's like, ah, 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 like when Trump does the trans weightlifter, and like she's just covered in this, and she looks up at this thing and she's like, ah, I did it. And all of a sudden it does the jump scare. The thing like roars at her, pulls itself a little closer, then like pukes one more time and dies. It was hilarious. And there's another similar scene with CPR later in the movie that's hilarious, where everyone's tripping on like berries. I thought that and the toilet wine and the other scenes showed enough inventiveness, but maybe she stole the toilet wine. I don't know. She's not as good as it seems. The movie then begins what I would say several successful, if you're me, unsuccessful after the second or third one, if you're Germ. I wanted to go with the movie. I felt the movie earned me rolling with the rug pulls until it becomes pretty obvious. About 1 hour and 45 minutes, with about 15 minutes left in this movie. There's no going back, right? Then I was like, okay, this is how this movie is. And we get revealed who knows what about what. And the characters then begin a face off. And the end of the movie, the final act, is just them in an increasingly more intense showdown that could be described somewhat Running Man-like, but on this island. And she's got the upper hand in several practical ways, which negate his ability as a man. But every time he does antagonize her enough that she bulls in there to fight him as a woman, he does get the upper hand right away. So I thought the fight stakes were really well thought out. What did you think of that, at least?
Well, they did plan out the stakes for it. The actual mechanics of the fighting, I wasn't a fan of.
While it was generous towards her, she still got lucky a lot. She still had to be clever a lot. She still had to use a lot of things to get her way. She had to fuck him up ahead of time. He had to already be at a disadvantage. She had poisoned him the day before. These characters really start to go at it. It just comes down to which one of these evil people survives this duel, which begins about like at the beginning of the final act but it's a long final act and it's real good. So we'll leave it off there. We won't tell you who prevails or the cool twist that I think that they actually did speak to the world that we live in without being patronizing at the end too.
A little bit, yeah. But my major problem with this movie is you don't have any reason to like either of the characters. You don't care if either of them really make it. You're at most parts, you're rooting for them to take each other out.
I was heavily invested just to see how it turned out. I didn't care which one won. It didn't matter to me. both characters get drunk on Pruno, or maybe she found this wine somewhere. Like she finds a cache of equipment, leave it to like that. Okay. And she doesn't tell this guy about it because he can only get so far off the beach. But she does have skills that we can believe she has, like weaving together some effective sun cover and other stuff like that. That does, like, this is survival 101. She doesn't really super impress when the movie shows you what's really going on, but they sell what's going on real good. I enjoyed every bit of this movie. I really did. I'm sorry. I would say I give Send Help. I give Send Help a B plus, and I say that it crests to A on comedy in 2 different points. Germ, what do you think?
I gave it a C minus overall. There may be 1 or 2 parts that get up to a B, but not really enough to make this something I'd watch again.
All hail Krimwan. Peace be upon him. Yeah, I don't need to ever watch it again, but I enjoyed it. Rocco the Brave, 8 out of 10. Rocco and I gave it the same grade. When I had to give it a number grade, I said, I want to say this is contextual. This movie entertained me. I wanted to know who won this competition. I didn't care that they were all terrible. And Germ, all terrible people. Landman, right? Am I right?
All terrible people, but no real potential.
I didn't care if they ever turned into good people. Like you said, if they had
not
both
even
killed each
potential
other,
to be
that was fine with
people.
me. Would you say that's a fair categorization of this movie? Sarcasm, satire, very hard, very biting, but it's a standalone Twilight Zone movie of a Twilight Zone story that you will recognize about halfway through.
Yeah, you'll quickly recognize this movie.
Well, you'll realize it's one of 3 different Twilight Zone stories. It imitates several Twilight Zone stories.
Yeah.
And it's a standalone Twilight Zone episode. I like it. And I like the little X marks the spot that we put in there. Little tip of the hat to Indiana Jones and all the other great movies, and to video games. Let's be honest. There's a little bit of a video game fetch quest thing going on here. Krimon 315, the verse of the great obfuscation. Yeah, Krimon, we heard about Order 68 at this point today. Congratulations and condolences at the same time. But all hail Krimon. Sub response from the back end of hell. Okay, yes, and I need to take that down. I don't think we should say that too much anymore. What do you think, sir? Germ, sir.
Probably not.
About the snack bar. Yeah, we should probably take that down. And hey, I want to thank all 3,258 of you amazing people who have joined me. 8 people joined today. We're on a little bit of a run. I think that the new Trek gave us a boost. Taylor Sheridan gave us a lot of exposure. We're getting recommended a lot, and we appreciate every single one of you for coming here in a very big way. I want to thank you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. Your time, such a precious thing to share with us. We gave you our thoughts on a movie that's, pay for on demand. So, there was some spoiler in there, but we didn't take it all the way. We're going to try to keep it that way with the next movie. I don't know if you saw this next movie. It includes the actor who I think has skill, but also is a hokey son of a bitch. Matthew McConaughey. I call him Matthew McKinda-gay, which is sort of accurate. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. He definitely looks the
He's
part.
a freak. What did you think of the movie The Last Bus? Did you see it? Are you aware of it? It's Amazon.
I'm aware of it, but I haven't gotten around to seeing it yet.
All right. So Matthew McConaughey, I don't know how true this is, right? They could have composited the characters, but the thing is, there was enough true person in them at the end of the movie. There's on text, like what happens to who survives and what they did with their life. And it's the Camp Fire of 2018 in Northern California. You may be aware of this fire.
Yes.
Okay. This guy, Ron Greenglass, directs this movie. He's good. He's done a lot of movies, a lot of true life stories, a lot of docudrama style movies. I thought he really did a good job in the evil nature and the lifelike nature and the feeding predatory nature of fire, making it seem alive and seem motivated. His real and practical effects mixed is what I was getting the impression of, but especially his CGI fire, He was really good with it. This fire had a lot of the darkness in it, like rippled through, and then he used the CGI to brighten the bright spots and make the oranges much more. It was a threatening looking fire, and the smoke didn't look too savory either. I'm saying this looked like a disaster. This looked horrible. It looked great, is what I mean to say, but it looked like a horrible thing to encounter. And it's moving very quickly and undulating. It was almost the last time I saw fire scare me that much was Independence Day. Maybe you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah. It's very intense. Sounds like they did a very good job with bumping up the flames.
McConaughey gives a workman-like performance. He does a really good job. Here's the deal. He's a soap dodger anyway, so he just showed up and just didn't shower for an extra week. He looks real greasy in this one, man. He is not like your handsome movie star. He is, very much the actor we remember him as. He has the power and magnetism, but now, they're going to take an everyman and they're going to make him Han Solo. They're going to make him Han Solo. He's going to have to pull a Damnation Alley through the campfire to save these 28 kids, I think it is, in the last bus. And the teacher with him is America Ferrera. Are you familiar with her?
I've heard the name, but I'm not overly familiar with her.
I'm going to say if she's a good actress, there are moments in this movie where her performance is good, but at other times it's a little bit lacking, I felt. And when she's with McConaughey, there's not a lot of chemistry with them. They're two professionals playing it like professionals who aren't friends. They have one friend moment at the end, then they do sell that. The thing is that they don't have speed chemistry for a movie where you're driving around in a bus trying to beat, in this case, they're trying to beat a wildfire. That's the heart of this movie, is most of that. He has all sorts of personal problems. They give you the life of this actual bus driver. He needs a few extra bus route days to make ends meet. He's also responsible for his own bus maintenance. His contract is puts a lot of pressure on him. We can see he takes his job seriously. He's earnest about that. He's doing basic safety checks before he gets into the bus and stuff like that. They show him doing a walk around. He cares that his mirrors are lined up, stuff like that. So he's not some idiot who doesn't take his responsibility seriously. We see that he really takes being a father seriously. His son is having problems with him. His son has problems. We get into the fact the son needs meds. I don't remember what for, but he feels sick. He has a headache. He's wondering, if his son has a good work ethic. So there's real patriarchal fathering stuff going on there. And the son's with him, not the mother, but the son prefers the mother. So he's trying to be the best father he can without 2 cents to rub together. And they're telling him, hey, this dry forest condition has school probably going to be canceled the next couple of days. And he's like, but I really need the money. And they're like, but what are we going to give you? There's other people who are here in line before you for what we do have. And there's not going to be a lot of work. I mean, there's too high of a fire hazard. They're not going to bring people to school. It's too dangerous. And that seems to be a reality that an East Coast American isn't familiar with. Jerm, can you speak to the accuracy of that part?
That's not something that we deal with up here. That'd be more of an Arizona, Southern California thing.
I understand the movie's filmed in Arizona and it's supposed to take place in Northern California, if I have the campfire location correct. It is a deciduous forest that they're in. So a lot of this movie involves the actors who play the rescue workers, and they're like air traffic controllers. So they talk very dispassionately and very quietly. However, we do have good filmmaking. They throw their map down on the side of the truck and sort of show where their pop-up fires are and where they think these fires are. And then as they're speaking, the camera sort of moves around them in an interesting way. And we see the distinct smoke plumes from different places where these pop-up fires are. And the chief makes a great call. He's like, no, they're not pop-up fires. This is one big fucking fire. And they're like, what? And they're like, it's one big fire. Change it to a mandatory evacuation. Get everyone out of there. And in the middle of the movie, we've gotten to the point where there are hundreds of civilians simply running for their lives, thousands of people unaccounted for. Everybody's complete pandemonium. They can't get through to some of this. And what they do is they decide to stop trying to fight the fire, and they have to make a decision. Do we fight the fire? What does more good to save human lives, fighting this fire or switching over to rescue? That's viewed as a dramatic moment, but
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
we have a $2 super chat from my friend Krimlon, book 6, chapter 9. Hide thy neighbor as thyself. They're gonna want to hide from this fire. Thank you, my friend Krimlon, for that generous $2 American super chat. Where was I in my description? Well, I was telling you about how
they're debating saving people or fighting the fire.
they have to make this decision, and the decision is to switch over to saving people. But here's the thing: it's made by air traffic control, like dispassionate professionals who are speaking to each other, like, "Sir, we need to make the decision now about whether we go from fighting this fire to saving people. We can't stop the fire." And he's like, "The fire is 100% out of control. Go from firefighting to life saving." It's like, go from firefighting to life saving. And this is a huge dramatic moment in this movie, but they're not delivering it with any passion because they're doing it the way it would be done in real life. I don't know if they're sacrificing realism for accuracy here, but I understood the accuracy, and as an American who's watched enough documentaries about this, and this is now shaping up to be a lot like, Seconds from Disaster or some of those other documentaries where we see people in these extraordinary situations. And now we see an average man and an average teacher are in an extraordinary situation. He knows the area. He's from the area. He has certain advantages. They make a decision based on like the directness of route, how fast the fire is moving. He spends like long enough time like staring down this fire. A couple of these kids have special needs. A couple of these kids have panic attacks. They see to the children. They get them water. They keep them safe. And this is the adventure of whether or not he's good enough to save them. At the end of the story, in text on screen, 86 or 87 people die in the campfire. And I believe it was $16 billion for 86 causes of involuntary manslaughter. But the thing is, a lot of people feel it wasn't that involuntary because they'd known for years when the high winds happen, the power lines go down and start fires. And what happens is it looks like the power line went down in two places at once, started two different fires, and they converged very quickly. And they all moved towards the population center. They surrounded the town, like three power lines around, like two different power lines around the town went down in like three different places at two different times. And they got three different fires that very quickly converged and moved towards the town. So
yeah, that part is very accurate.
All right. So they stick with that. We're going to find out whether they make it or not. I'm not going to tell you whether they make it or not. I will tell you this: Matthew McConaughey, great acting. America Ferrera, good enough to keep up, not holding the movie back in any way. They don't know each other. They shouldn't have Han and Leia energy. It's not like Speed. It's not like Star Wars. He's not Han Solo. This is not the Millennium Falcon. He's a very average man with credit card bills and problems that are really, really bad. At the end of the movie, there is a great deal of positivity after the negativity. It gives you a balanced picture of what happened and seems to be very accurate. I recommend this movie. I give this movie also an 8 out of 10 in context for what it is, a streaming movie. It was not a cinematic movie. This might not have been quite good enough to be cinematic, but Germ seems to be saying that about Send Help.
This one sounds a little bit better than Send Help.
This is at least a little bit more, I would say, up your alley and had a lot more outright excitement. But I see something on the long range scanners coming in, and
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
It's our good friend JT Kirk says, I haven't seen Send Help, but maybe we can send help. The very helpful nuclear kind of help to Tora Bora. Oh, Admiral Teague is going to get in so much trouble when he says this, but really only with, something I can fix by going to confession. I have stuck by this, and Germ, I would run this by you. This is where we get the tangential and original part of what makes this our show and so original and makes us authentic. You ready, Germ? After 9/11, I felt that we should have used nuclear weapons, not thermal nuclear weapons, but nuclear weapons on Tora Bora.
Okay.
Here's my justification. There were less people in the Tora Bora area than there were in either tower. So it was twice as compassionate as far as, one, they were harboring terrorists. So our policy was no distinction. And I was okay with that, by the way. I don't know if have any feelings on it, I'll let you go afterwards. But I liked the no distinction policy. I didn't feel bad. We wouldn't have killed as many people. And Fallout, well, you can run and hide from it. You shouldn't have let these terrorists fucking show up where, in your country. Don't fucking harbor them, and you won't have these problems, and you won't force us to nuke you. And the world would be very, very different right now. And now I have to go to Catholic confession because I don't forgive the people who did 9/11. And I don't trust the motherfuckers in Afghanistan now. Jerem, what's your take on that hot take there from history, not even politics? Although it might
Why
speak
not?
to current events. Oh, you don't have a problem with what I did?
Sure, what do I care?
You condemn the attacks.
But yeah, sure, I condemn the attacks. Let's just say my politics are a little bit
more strident.
along the line. Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
I think I'm a little behind here, so let me address some of these sensor anomalies that we're seeing here. Let's see. We have one from Crimlon. Let's make sure I get the sensor. Check it past the computer. Computer, is that what I think it is?
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
Crimlon with a very generous $2 super chat says, Crimlon 419, delay the real to seal the zeal. Is that because 420 comes next and you got to wait that extra minute and have the self-control to get the 420? I don't know. It's possible. I don't know, Jerem, what do you think of my Tora Bora nuke theory? The less people there, right? We couldn't have killed as many people. And by the way, they also attacked Washington, D.C., and they tried to destroy our nation's very Capitol building and our White House. They only got a military target by mistake. That was choice 4. They were going after civilians every bit of the way. These were the worst people ever, and I don't think using a nuclear weapon or a dirty bomb on them would have been wrong at all. And they wouldn't have been able to leave, and they never would have bothered us again, and we would have been spared 19 years of war, and we would have won. Correct?
Sure.
They die in that scenario. They can't leave. If they survive the impact, they're still sealed in there by the dirtiness of the bomb. I didn't say a low yield dirty bomb. I'm saying like kaboom and horrible radiation lasting forever. Because hey, go to the next fucking mountain. And here's something. How about this one? A leaflet campaign.
Well, where's the fun in that?
You can get the civilians out and stop anybody who's sus and bring them the Gitmo. So, you can maintain that you're going for justice. I believe that the response to 9/11 was overly lenient and led to more problems. But what do I know? I do wrong things all the time.
Admiral Teague, please stop using copyrighted material.
You know what? I think that we have yet another
Admiral
one
Teague, incoming super chat.
Crimlon 5.1 with another generous Greenlandian greenback super chat says 5-1, cleanse the slate with the Adams weight. Look, I would have been okay if we did it, and I would have backed Bush, and I would have been far more eager to vote for him. Whether I did or not doesn't matter. Jerem, what do you think? Would you have felt more well-disposed towards the president had he reacted that way, like, say, within about 72 hours? Like, we want him in handcuffs now. No disintegrations. We want him now.
I was more of the bring it all into compliance type mindset.
So you would have used far more nuclear weapons over a far wider zone.
Only if you have to.
All right. So I still feel that that would have been an adequate response for 9/11, but I also I had to see that. So some of those people were my friends, and a lot of them died saving other people. So one of the things I thought was the worst about the inherently evil Al Qaeda is that they went after some of the most honorable people that you could ever ask for, people who would lay down their lives for other people. So, fuck them. And if you're going to harbor them, don't be surprised if the United States comes a knocking. And the same thing to be said for our current situation, which, what can I say? People, let's win this. Although what that looks like, I still don't know. We got a few more people coming in. I said hello to John. I said hello, Jonathan Hancock. I think Roman of the Empire is here. I said hi to Head Case Lombardi. Jamie Lynn Simmons, hello. Did I miss anybody? Radioactive Actual, hello, sir. Sir. And Ruby Hoove is with us too, as well as Krimlon, JT, and John the Beagle Dad, all hanging out for a good little party. Tweet that we're live off the browser. Keep the show flow going, and ask me your questions, ask me your future, ask me your advice on baseball. No, don't ask me for your advice on baseball. I'm going to just say the Yankees going to win every game. Who are they playing right now, Jeremy? Do you know? Are you aware?
They are playing the Mariners right now.
You don't say. You don't say. Wow. What are the odds? I didn't know that. I did not know that. Are they winning? Have they won? How's the series going?
It's the third inning right now. The Yankees are up 2-0.
They're underachieving. Against that Seattle team, it should be 11 or 12-0 by now.
The Mariners have the best starting rotation in baseball.
Yeah, they really actually do have one of the best starting rotations in the American League, if not baseball. Thou shalt preserve the works of resolute germ, lest they vanish into the void and be remembered only by broken links and faint buffering. Oh, where he's taking you, you won't need eyes. Germ, the things you've seen.
To have eyes where I would take you.
The things Germ has seen with those eyes. Sea beams glittering off the Tannhauser gate. All right. All these will be lost like tears in the rain if we don't keep this story going. Hey, you know what? Let's see. The Red Sox shall possess the souls of the Yankees, for the pinstripes are but a shroud, and the green monster is the only wall that Krimlon recognizes. My friend Sean's cousin hit 2 home runs over the green monster in the 1986 World Series. I'm not afraid of that fucking monster. And that has been more help than hurt to any team going to that park, because God damn it, they get beginner's luck every time, and the Red Sox take forever to learn how to play hops off the wall, don't they?
Yeah, they never did learn how to do that.
It seems like having it there just makes it harder to deal with. It's like you also have to start accounting for like the surface of the park, where like it hits the grass or whether it hits the warning track when it bounces coming back to you, whether you can play it on the hop or the bounce before it hits the ground, try to field it and throw it in. That green monster has been more of a hindrance than a help to them. And hello, Sith Dan. It's good to see the sci-fi historian with us. It's good to see you. It's good to see JT Kirk is here. As we answer your questions and go on with some of the other sci-fi and pop culture news. I thought Sam Raimi showed he still has it and deserves another movie and send help. What did you think, Jerem?
Yeah, if you're a fan of Sam Raimi, this is send help probably right up your alley.
One of the Raimiest of Raimiisms with Raimiists and Raimacity. Would you say it had a great deal of Raimacity?
That's a very positive way to put it.
I like when both characters have moments where they have breakdowns and crazy turns, but let's just stick with this one part. I thought Rachel McAdams did such a great job that she will probably get nominated but not win the Academy Award. What did you think? Because she's probably too pretty. She's older now.
I doubt he'll get nominated. Raimi.
They nominate 12 people now.
Okay, so there's a good chance.
Yeah. So
they do have those rules now about who can get nominated now. They have to meet the woke checklist.
She has red hair. She's a minority. She's a woman.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that.
There has to be a Best Lead Actress nominee. I said not win. Zendaya is still going to win, whether she just walks out and fucking puts a cup of coffee in front of Peter Parker or is a major part of that movie. What's just really quick and tangentially, Germ. Zendaya is turning into the dramatic acting version of J.J. Abrams. I feel she has an outsized impact on our lives, and that we see her like making me not want to go to far too many movies. How about you?
Yeah, she is quite overexposed at this time.
I don't blame her for taking the money.
Well, yeah, they're willing to throw millions of dollars her way. She'll take it.
She doesn't seem to have a flair for a lot of range in acting. She can play pissed off bitch. We haven't seen her offered anything else though that I've seen. She's a dancer in The Greatest Entertainer, which puts her on the radar, and then Disney just puts her into one role after another. It just isn't so great. I haven't seen Zendaya like bring the house down in anything. She
No.
was at best acceptable at MJ in the final turn with No Way Home. She was an unacceptable MJ in the first movie, just the worst MJ ever. Ever. The worst performance by anyone is MJ ever, including like the voice from the cartoons. Any time that we've ever seen MJ, the worst performance of all time as MJ. But I see something on the edge of the
Admiral Teague,
long-range radar.
incoming super chat.
We got Sigvaldison, member for 2 months. It says, endure the Xeno, endure not the Xeno among us. Yes, I totally get where you're coming from.
Or more like suffer not the alien to live.
Well, they have pressurized blood that shoots acid in the Alien franchise that we may or may not be talking about, but don't say things like that. Please.
No, it is a legitimate sci-fi quote.
Oh, okay.
You're probably the one of the few that aren't going to get it in this audience.
How far into the Aliens movie is it, or is it from a video game or something?
It is from Warhammer.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I guess what I have to do is due diligence. I got to go play Warhammer, and I guess I have to play a little Xbox to learn what's going on in the world, huh?
I'll give you a light overview of the entire universe. You don't want to dive in too much, or else it'll swallow you up.
Ooh. RRTNZ says, just looking for a bit still at work. Cheers. Cheers to you, mate. It's good to see RRTNZ. Put Sydney in Spider-Man with Toby. You know what? Is there a more natural person to play Black Cat?
She would be perfect for that.
I don't know which phrase it is. Aliens, you can say. I think contextually, their banned words list is changing all the time. Endure not. So maybe Alien is now. We'll find out. There's too much sci-fi commentary for it to be a banned word. Maybe it's a glitch today. And I'll double check to see if that didn't have like autocomplete or something. I don't want that to be a word that you can't say on the channel.
Yeah, it's I think both of us had to clean up the language a little bit for YouTube purposes.
It's unfortunate that YouTube has one layer but still leaves words that'll get you in trouble. You can say a word that starts with F and rhymes with a word that is another word for croissant, not a roll, but a baguette. And you will just have nothing but problems. They'll let you put it in chat. You should be able to say alien. Let me see something.
And I'm surprised they let you say that, Kremlin.
Yeah. That word is not in my list of banned words. There are obvious words that I can't what people say, but YouTube obviously has their own feelings about it. And it's one of the traps that like creators fall into. It makes it hard to moderate sometimes when chat is on screen and people get a little extra salty, for lack of a better term. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I honestly thought they won't let you put war in a super chat.
That That could be what it is. Hey, Sean Carter with a $5 super chat. So, for example, we cannot describe James Taylor. He's seen fire and he's seen rain.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
Sir, Sean Carter, thank you for the generous $5 American super chat. And it's funny, everybody, like, I think, like, we've all become a bit like, as women last night, like, I got a text message and I looked at my phone as I was winking out because I had a whole bunch of drinks and I was falling asleep. I ended up, like, just pouring a bunch of beers down the hatch because I kept thinking about Nutrik. I'm coming off 3.5 years of not drinking really more than once or twice a year. And this year I've already drank like 4 times. I had a flashback to Gaydon in the dress.
Starfleet Academy did so much damage to you.
We had to talk this morning, but we're all on the same schedule, so we all started drinking at the same time. But Sean Carter, sir, says, so for example, we cannot describe James Taylor. James Taylor, you know, for a guy who walks around with a shirt full of like felt tip markers, you know, and pens, and like wears like a fisherman's baseball hat. How the hell did he end up getting married to a hot piece of ass like Carly Simon?
There's no telling.
I was always pretty sure that he was anything but, you know, into women. And then to find out, like, not only is he into women, but like he's kind of a swordsman. Wow.
Go figure.
Go fit. Exactly. Sean Carter, thank you, sir. I just saw, by the way, as I reviewed it, what do you think, Jerem? Should we upload the first 5-8 minutes of our show last week where JT, you, and I watched the people on the new Trek beg up asking for season 3 of Star? Please give us our show. It's the show you want to watch. Should I upload that as a short? Or should I upload that as like a shorter video, like 10 minutes long?
Yeah, why not?
I thought I enjoyed seeing the dazed prisoners driven before me. Does that make me a bad guy? Every one of those people who was begging for better Star Trek was out of their mind too. They sounded spaced out.
Some people need $5 to pay for the meth.
Explain Fiverr.
It's essentially a temp agency online. We have X amount of money to do a certain job. You pick a volunteer.
So you volunteer to make, like, say, $30 for one video?
The tasks vary. But
those are some terrible videos. One guy seemed like he was trying to earn too. He's like, I'm the hardworking guy from Fiverr. He's like, I apologize for the low video quality. I never felt seen until I saw this show. And I was just like, the fuck? I never felt seen until until this show. We need shows like this. It always takes a while for Star Trek shows to get good. That guy was so just a low energy loser.
Probably the type that makes a living off of Fiverr.
He was such a low energy loser. He did put some effort into his endorsement though. Then there was a 70-year-old lady, was at his own grandmother's, like, Grandma, I need like $5 more.
Yeah, it's a good possibility.
There's only like 7 or 8 video testimonials. The petition to renew New Trek, I do not think is doing as well as the petition to decanonize New Trek, is it, Jerm?
I doubt it. Which reminds me, our good friend Sean Carter created a change.org petition. Do not renew New Trek.
I think the petition is a good one, and everyone should get on board with that. I'm looking for it now. I wonder if I bookmarked it. Let me go to my bookmarks. Hopefully, my bookmarks don't get me in trouble. Ah, you know what, Jerem? Here's a timely story for today. Let's talk about today's news for a moment. This happened. So, this guy went out dressed this way, and there's a debate on X over whether this is stolen valor. There's no badging.
Huh.
There's no badging. He's got sneakers and like whatever. Fucking pirate's hat. Sean, is that the model video? Let me pull up Sean's model video so that everyone can see it. It was it's
That's his change.org.
change.org. That's the change.org. And Sean the model video is up and doing well. I got to go grab that too. I'm doing a terrible job of being host of my own show. You know, being your own engineer, a little trickier than you might think. And I'll never be able to pull off what Doomcock does, where he can have a conversation, type, and research things at the same time. Let's see how our poll is going for a minute. What are you more likely to see? 29% send help. Lost Boss 0%. No one really gives a shit about the Lost Boss story.
I doubt many people actually heard of it. Amazon does quite a poor job of advertising their stuff.
They actually do a terrible job of advertising their stuff.
Yeah. Sean has his YouTube the model video up in the chat.
I'm trying to go to the playlists. I went to the wrong channel. I went to Sean's channel. I got to go to the Sci-Fi Model Guy. I got to go to my own homepage. When you have more than one account, sometimes it gets a little confused, as they like to say. Here we go. Okay, it's the Voyager, by the way. We have 2 crew members doing the Voyager. Sean's is there, but let me label it correctly and do some nice presentation. I'm not going to give you any more than the address, but bookmark this one and watch it later. It's great. Sean, as always, is great. Here's his Voyager video. You want to check it out. We have some phase pistols on the way too, and some other great stuff. It's gonna be fun stuff. Yeah, he doesn't have regulation hair, says Radioactive. He has regulation hair for like a World War II movie made around 1970, though, doesn't he? And any Vietnam movie.
Yeah.
They let him have longer hair. I don't know why.
Couldn't get the actors to cut their hair properly.
People are saying it's stolen valor. I'm saying just wear one. He didn't wear the badging, so it's technically not. And I'll ask you, what do you think? Is it stolen valor? Tacky? Neither? Both?
Maybe a bit tacky, but not stolen valor.
That's taking it too far. Let me tell you a question. I'll tell you a story about my real life. When I lived in Orlando, you're not allowed to have any charity. If I gave a homeless person money on the street, I would get arrested, right? And if you give them food, you'll get arrested. There's no ad hoc charity. You have to be a registered charity to give away food. So the state does a lot of the giveaways there, and they're very tightly controlled. So one day I'm hearing this clanking sound coming from all different directions at once. And Orlando is like the Detroit of the East Coast. There's so many homeless people there. The alligators never get hungry. The clanking sound was they gave them all customized push baskets, but the baskets had a noise-making clanker that every time the wheel turned 4 or 5 times, it would spin and clank it again so they could hear them coming. Cynical, right? I mean, I understand why. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but weird to be, hey, Jason Love. Is that some weird shit or what?
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing to do.
You wouldn't figure Florida would be giving this kind of stuff away to the unhoused, but anyway, so I'm sitting on the stoop of my house back when I used to smoke, and I hear clanking coming from 8 or 9 different directions, because it carries like a half mile. It's a lot of homeless people. So then the next day, I go to the supermarket, and it looks like we're under military occupation, Germ. It looks like the military has come and is taking up residence.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
A $5 super chat from my good friend Sean says, I took a fat chick out to dinner in Orlando and spent 3 days in jail under that law. What, feeding her to an alligator? But yeah. Yeah, the no public charity law is really weird. And one of the biggest crimes, they call it food terrorism. Have you heard of this crime, Jar?
Yes, I have heard of that crime. Due to my former job, I think the version you're talking about may be a little different.
This is people jump across the counter and grab a bunch of Big Macs and then jump back across the counter and try to leave. And if anybody from the store gets in their way, they'll like throw the boiling coffee or like boiling cooking oil in their face.
That's just a normal Friday night here.
Yeah, no, and Sean Carter, thank you very much, sir. Yeah, I appreciate it very much. The $5 Greenlandian greenback. So in Orlando, they have what's called you can be charged with being a food terrorist, or that's at least what the news calls them. I was glad to move back to New York, like the no state tax thing, and then like finding out that the cops need 20 minutes to respond to active gunfire, NYPD response time under 5 minutes. You know where I'd rather be, right? Get some law.
I would take any response time for gunfire.
Wow, it's that bad where you live?
Their official stance is don't call us.
Oh, well, that is the official stance of Florida, too. I mean, they'll get there when they get there. That's for active gunfire. Cigarettes, yes. They consider the date to be charity. I got it. It took me a minute to process the joke. Brain not working. I still haven't fully bounced back from the new track, and I think I might have nerfed my IQ slightly with the hangover last night. I was just like, I was in the mood to drink beer, and I just kept like pouring one Stella after another down the hatch. It was after I knew I was off. I wasn't going on the air. I wasn't doing any more YouTube, and I mostly turned to I've airplane moded my phone, so I only got some info. But I was close enough to my house that like as I would pass by and do stuff, one thing I did do was I sat outside the bar up the street because they have like an outdoor like section, and a few of my friends were there. So rather than go in the bar and pay $10 for a beer, I bought a tall boy and sat at the table outside the bar and drank with my friends. Is that low life?
Yeah, that's not too bad.
And thank you, Sean Carter. I get it. Dating the fat chick is the charity. So you can say big girls if it's in a super chat, but not if you're a member. I didn't take the word fat out. You can say fat. Whoa! YouTube got rid of the word. YouTube rejected your comment. It's not me.
Interesting. YouTube seems to have it out for our friend Headcase.
No, they did it to me too. It's the word. Here we go. Workaround found. It's one character longer. I don't know what to tell you. Wow. It really is getting, and it might be, I don't know if Headcase was using his iPhone or his device. So like Chrome and Apple not getting along too well these days. I tend to think it's probably both companies' fault. And I would like to see both companies dropped into the sea forever. I just can't stand them either like too much. What do you think?
I always tend to blame Apple.
Yeah, I mean, Crapple is worse. Crapple, I think, has the I don't know if it's Crapple or Amazon or both that have the Lost Bus movie. That one, it could. The thing was, the kids in the movie were decent enough actors, but it wasn't really about the children. It was about Makinda Gay being heroic and America Ferrera being dedicated and professional, and both of them being brave throughout this, and not leaving these children and running for their lives. Like what happens during the plane crash where people act dishonorable. You're gonna die anyway, but you murder someone on your way out. Like both of you are gonna die, but
Yeah.
that person's death.
The crabs in a pot effect.
Did that guy murder the guy that he kicked free of the plane? The guy who, since they were all going to die anyway, or since the plane crash was survivable, he murdered that guy, and he was trying to murder her.
He was trying to murder her, but he did not murder that other guy.
The other guy just lost his grip on his legs, but he was kicking that guy.
It was self-defense.
That might be true. Yeah, but he was trying. Okay, so he was being a piece of shit, though. So he was trying, but he was guilty of attempted murder in your mind, huh? He was trying to kill her because the crash turned out to be survivable.
It doesn't matter if it was survivable or not. His actions were directly trying to take her seatbelt off and take her seat from her. That's a little more than just grabbing on and struggling to hang on.
We're all in a building. It's going to collapse. We're trying to get out of the building. We're running down the stairs. Someone murders someone else to get through the door first, and then the building collapses and we all die anyway. Did that person still commit murder?
No jury will convict him.
They have to stand before their maker. What's your thought? That's a real hard to say one, isn't it?
I'll leave that to St. Peter.
Good call. She's 5'2". She's 5'2". Anyway, you measure. They who drink Stella beer, the banner of many colors, they are of a different house of the Klingon. Those whose way is thunder. Germ, I like watching birds.
Do you have any birds in New York other than the pigeons?
We have pigeons? I just thought that there were some rats that could fly.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to get back to you on the pigeons. Yeah, it really is the same thing. We have, actually, what's kind of cool is we have falcons, and I've seen them kill off a few of the pigeons in mid-flight a couple times. I've seen a falcon come take a pigeon. I also saw a fucking hawk grab a small dog, and the woman who was walking the dog was only like 4'10", this little Chinese lady. And this hawk came swooping down and grabbed her dog and tried to make off with it. And this poor dog, it's barking and scared for its life. And the woman was holding on to the leash, and the hawk took off, and the woman was briefly off the ground. She was 4 or 5 feet off the ground. And when she let go, one of her neighbors caught her. She would have broke every bone in her body. She was like 80, but that so sucks, right? Like, watch out for the hawk.
Yeah, those hawks, they're doing good work by getting to pigeons, but they need to stay away from the chihuahuas.
Yeah, this hawk was huge. There was one time I went by there, and I always saw the sign, beware hawks. And I'm like, New York City and its signs. One day, this, and I'm like, what the fuck? And the shadow, and I see this thing. It's like its wings, beating the raptor that it is. And it's like, what next? Does it cloak? It was the biggest fucking bird I've ever seen. Fucking huge. It must have been 5 to 7 feet across. Its body was
definitely bigger than that little Chinese lady.
This thing, its wingspan was 5 to 7 feet across, and its body was the size of 2 end-to-end Pringles containers. Its head was this big.
Yeah.
So at any rate, I'm glad that I live in Queens, because I heard that there was a big protest against the people in Brooklyn. What is this I hear about no Kings County? Bernie Sanders is from Kings County. Is that what it is? You live in Kings County. Were you part of this protest against your own county? Is that what it was? Is that what the No Kings was about?
I was a little bit busy, but There is several thousand people under the impression that King George had came back or something like that. They just do the little voodoo dance every few months to ward off the British crown.
I'll never tell. I live in a part of New York City that is known as Queens. Other people from Queens include Cyndi Lauper, all of Kiss, and all of the Ramones. Not too shabby, right? Hey,
Yeah, not too bad.
I hear something on. There's an anomalous reading germ on the long range radar. Let's see.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
It seems like we might have a super chat. Let's take a look. Germ, we got a super chat from RRTNZ with 10 New Zealand dollars saying, "Ooh, you gotta take me home tonight. Ooh, down beside your red firelight. Ooh, you gotta give it all. Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round." Or, "Ooh, you gotta take me home tonight. Ooh, beside your red firelight. Ooh, you gotta give it all. You got fat bottom girls. You make the rockin' world go round." I'll sing that one before I sing the Highlander song, right?
Yeah.
Although we might play that song for my birthday stream, right? Well, why the hell not? The guys from Queen deserve another $2.
Yeah, why not?
Thank you so much, RRTNZ, for the very generous super chat. I can't wait for you to join us when we do the Enterprise retrospective. There'll be another Enterprise episode this week. Saving Star Trek marches on. And now I guess we are the longest running Star Trek show on YouTube. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of the future episodes as we get ready to move forward into the original series. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we found out we can be tangential enough to discuss the original series pretty much the same way, too. And thank you, RRTNZ, sir. Sir.
Yeah, we'll do a pretty good job on the original series. I think that the format won't change too much.
By the way, Jason Love, I love that whole album. Hammer to Fall is also another great song. Who Wants to Live Forever, which is sung by Brian. I'm going to ask you a question, Jerb. Shouldn't they just get Queen to do the soundtrack for the new Highlander reboot, or at least do a song for it? They should have a Queen song, right?
Yeah, at least the song for it.
A new Queen song? Should they let them do a new song? Considering the singer, one of their they had two primary singers. Freddie Mercury sings most songs, but Brian May was able to go out and successfully front Queen on his own while still also playing the guitar. The guy's a polymath.
Yeah, give him a new song, but also put on the old classics for the album.
Thing is, Queen will hit if you give them a new song. They're good enough. We just had a wave of nostalgia. The Black Sabbath guys had a hit a few years back. Black Sabbath starting to chart and become part of nostalgia and be identified regularly. Certainly since Iron Man, an increased profile, and with Ozzy's return and all that stuff. Hey, you know what? You may be a doctor, but I am the doctor, says Jason Love. You know what, Jason? As long as you're not Shooty Gatwa. Jerem, your thoughts on Shooty Gatwa? We've had this up long enough.
He
might
knew
have been the worst
about,
ever doctor.
Yeah, tied for the worst ever. David Tennant's climbing that list real quickly.
Yeah, that's true. Brian May is published and is a doctor in every way. I thought he had the PhD for longer. I think he's had it for like at least a couple. I think he might have had the PhD before he became a rock star, but he continued working in the field of what is it, astrophysics or quantum mechanics?
Something like that. I thought it was cosmology.
It might be cosmology. So yeah, so he understands astronomy.
Yeah.
All right. So Tennant, you know what? He wasn't the worst Doctor Who, but he didn't get the greatest stories. And man, Doctor Who it's almost like they're on they're on a quest to try to be worse than Star Trek on any given day. But Star Trek giving them a really intense run for their money now.
Well, soon they'll be equal and both off the air.
I think so. And also I heard no one wants to read for the role of Doctor Who, that no one even responded to do it. They're like, it's a no-win and you don't know where you're going with the character.
Yeah, apparently Tennant Smith and Whittaker all turned him down.
Wow. Even Whittaker turned him down.
Yeah.
They did Doctor Who dirty. It's true. I enjoyed a lot of the Matt Smith episodes. Tennant's episodes, not as good. There was a divergence in how the quality was never as good as that original run. For me, Doctor Who is in my heart. My doctor is Tom Baker. How about you, Jerm?
Well, I didn't really start watching the show until the new series. So Smith was the main one that I was watching.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, of the new Doctors, he's definitely the best fit.
We got a bunch of people watching now. Welcome to all of you. And I can been on long enough now to say, hello to everyone over on Rumble. Let me see what's going on over there and see if we can support some of the Rumble chats. How much is going on is always up in the air. We never know. Someone's watching. Welcome to you. We always get some commercials because I'm not getting premium Rumble just yet. But hey, yeah, there we are live. Welcome to everybody over on Rumble. Let me charge it up with some weird emojis. I love the Rumble emojis. Have you ever seen them, Jerm?
Yeah, a lot of good emojis.
They're fun
Especially
and
compared
funny.
to what YouTube has.
They are fun and funny. Yeah, I just out of nowhere. About 6 months ago, I said to you that even though I didn't think he was all that smart, I thought that JD Vance was even less smart, and I thought that Marco Rubio would be the one who runs for president. Have you heard these reports that Republican donors are pushing for Rubio now?
I have heard that, but they've been doing that pretty much since the get-go.
So would that mean that maybe whether I'm right or not, I was onto something, that there's something in the air about people maybe just aren't crazy about Vance?
I think no one really knew Vance too well. He is sort of a out of nowhere pick for VP.
And then the guy who made the TV show about his life, who got so much acclaim, our pal Ron Howard, was just like, what was he like? I'm disappointed in him. It's like, oh, come on. He's vice president. Just, go with it. And he's like, I feel like I'm a part of this. It's like, you're overestimating yourself, although you probably are part of it. That show probably got him the gig. What do you think?
No,
it was him.
I think they decided about that after, didn't they?
I don't know. I always thought that he was weird. I like weird politicians. I find them fun and funny, and I can't affect the national outcome and stuff like that. I'm just sitting here, watching and observing, and I'm not even telling people who to vote for. I make no recommendations. I endorse nobody, and I stay off the air on political days to let my friends like Snowdub, who do a better job at it, do it, and yourself. It's not my bag, although I might show up on your show where I always know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, exactly what's going on probably 5 or 6 days ago.
But by that time, it's been proven real.
Sure.
Well, I might not have the real story, but I have the story as it was 5 days ago. And a lot of times you're like, that wasn't true. It didn't happen. And, sir, it doesn't matter. No one cares. And we move on from that one.
Yeah.
I think that this is what I think that JD Vance's problem is. You tell me. One, I think that his base preferred that he not be Catholic in the first place, and he chose the most rules-heavy, difficult Christian religion, OG Christianity. And as a Catholic myself, I can comment on this one. He says he exposes his children to the Hindu teachings. This is strictly forbidden under Catholicism in the mixed marriage. She's not from an Abrahamic religion. It's not a Catholic and a Jew. It's a different kind of marriage.
it's a mistake a lot of converts make. They mistake Catholics with the majority of Christians. I would
We're still
recommend just,
Christians.
yeah, you're still Christians, but you're the biggest dicks of all the Christian denominations.
If you mean by that we're the most rules heavy and difficult, you're right. It's really hard to stay compliant.
For example, I've met a lot of Catholics who don't believe a Protestant and a Catholic can marry.
That's idiotic.
But it's a belief that a good number of Catholics have.
You're talking about maybe people from Mexico?
No, Irish Catholic.
All right. I mean, I'm Irish enough to have seen it. Yeah, it's true. I've seen it. It's an ignorant outlook. It's going away in subsequent generations. But I mean, I dated a Chinese girl who said we couldn't truly get serious because she could only marry someone from her town in China. So some people are pretty specific. Jason Love with some the apple and the swirly, but the hypnotic apple. I like it. I prefer saying my exorcists. I prefer my exorcists be Roman Catholic. Just saying, they're the only ones that are going to work. The only exorcism and like demonic movies that work revolve around the Catholic Church. It's just got like a better aesthetic for that shit. Am I right? What do you think, Jerm?
Yeah, it's a better aesthetic for it, and most Protestant denominations don't believe in exorcism.
Well, you are Branch Davidian, correct?
I was Episcopalian.
Yeah, I was. You didn't have to answer
Then
that.
they painted the church rainbow and started letting women be the freaking priests.
Oh, sir. Sir. Oh, sir. Yeah, that is a little bit disturbing, at least from the point of view of aren't you supposed to at least stand for something? And it's like, if you want to open the door and be accepting to people, that's one thing, but to then change the church to be their colors, that's a little crazy, painting the church rainbow colors. And that's a little nuts. Uh, you know, traditional marriage within the church is always going to be traditional marriage within the church. That's why, like, the Catholic thing, like, we got that going for us. Pope Leo is not going to like wake up one day and be like, we think dudes can get married. It's not going to happen.
You hope.
It's not going to happen. And some debunking. That thing about like the special like Muslim prayer room in a sanctified area never like done before. It's a common accommodation done that hadn't been done in that building for that religion. It was like someone making up more fake news. So like sort of like saying again, like this was the first lesbian biracial female Commodore ever in Star Trek. Did you know that? To be Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Yeah. The distinction without a difference. The religion of Crimlobulin is the more perfect and most complete, for it uniteth the fire of the self and the shadow of the empire, leaving no soul uncloaked and no motive unlayered. Now you're sounding like Crim Romulan again. But you know what? I'm wondering, Germ, this week we have an interesting Enterprise episode called Bound. Are you looking forward to that one?
Oh, yes. It's one of the best of season 4.
It honestly, I thought it's a lot of fun. Are you saying that like a little flat and sarcastically, or are you being honest?
Oh, no. There are 3 very, very good reasons. Yes.
They're gorgeous.
The best episodes of Enterprise.
I love those chicks. And Archer and Reed's reaction to them is just like, it was like, it reminded me of my oath of celibacy is on file, right?
Yeah, it's if they could be more slack-jawed, they'd have to be animated.
Dominic Keating called Starfleet Academy a bit of the CW in space. What do you say?
I'm surprised he said it directly to Picardo's face.
I don't I don't think he likes him.
That's a good
I
bet.
think we've watched Shuttlepod 1. Dominic Keating is he back on it now? And it's called the Decon Chamber now? Did they had to make some substantial changes?
Yeah, they had a falling out with their producer, and the producer and this other chick left the show. They apparently had the rights to the name, so the two of them left, rebranded, and started up again.
And they're good together, although Dominic Keating tends to dress like an ecstasy dealer.
Yeah, it's a fair bet that he had to do some stuff when he wasn't working as an actor as regularly.
He smoked a couple of joints before he went on air, too, for sure, is my feeling. But it's a good podcast, and they're good together, and they have a natural chemistry, and you're led to believe that they enjoy each other's company. It doesn't seem forced at all. It is pretty produced, but it is pretty good content as well. I think that they're pretty good at what they do. But Dominic Keating has gone out there. Maybe Dominic Keating has gone out there and basically told Newtrek that I can smell that, like I smell the smell's on you. No one's afraid to say it anymore. And he's like,
Yeah.
starting to look like my Star Trek show's coming back. I have the longest line in all the autograph signings. Do you think the Enterprise people's signature lines are getting longer on the con line?
Yeah, definitely a little bit longer.
Were you surprised that Alec Baldwin and Stephen Baldwin went to Comic-Con, to MegaCon in Orlando? Or wherever MegaCon is. I don't fucking know. Is it Las Vegas?
No, I think both of them kind of need money right now.
It's so weird because, like, where's the sci-fi? Like, I was a voice in some sci-fi movies.
Yeah, some B movies. Alec can sign
Titanfall.
Beetlejuice autographs.
Yeah. I mean, and Steven just like he'll go anywhere he thinks he can make some money, right?
Yeah.
Have I seen Rob Zombie anymore? Has he changed his look? I know he's getting ready to give us another movie, and I know that he finally released another album. He finally did some music again, and I think he's about to make another movie. I approve of the stuff he did. I thought the Rob Zombie movies were kind of fun. Germ?
I wasn't really big on his movies. His albums were pretty good. But last time I saw him, he was looking more undead than he was when he's made up for Dracula.
JT Kirk asks me if I saw the recent interview by Lieutenant Reed of the EMH. No, I didn't. And it would seem like it would be adversarial. I just can't see those two guys clicking. Like, Dominic Keating seems very happy-go-lucky, and Robert Picardo seems a bit miserable, honestly.
He looks
and vengeful.
It looked like he was there under duress.
Keating was probably getting some money to say some good stuff or interview.
Picardo looked like someone kidnapped him and put him on the podcast.
Oh, he was going there to defend his honor in that stupid show. And by the way, people want to put the Gothic memes in when Krimon's there because I'm wearing the Black Sabbath shirt and because Krimon is just evocative of that whole goth vibe. But they couldn't find one positive thing to say in the interview. Yeah, what can you say? Like, episode 7 was 5 minutes shorter. That's my positive.
Keating tried to say something positive without lying too much. That's about as close as positive as they got.
And Keating just didn't want to go too rough on Picardo, but didn't seem to be thrilled to be hanging out with him. Is that what you're saying?
No, they were okay with Picardo. Picardo looked like he was there with a gun pointed at his head.
But okay, so Trip was there,
and it's
too,
all over Zoom. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to watch it.
He was a little bit quieter because I think he was trying to go by the, if you don't have anything positive to say, just shut the hell up.
They flipped the coin like one of us has to take the damage of talking to him. Is that what you're saying? It's like that kind of a feel. It's like, nope, you lost. You drew the short straw, Dominic. I had to talk to the other idiot who came through from New Trek last time. You're doing this one?
Yeah, you did a fair bit more of the talking.
Maybe he's just a better natural lead. Interesting. So we got the Star Trek out of the way to a degree. We have been workshopping and we'll be sending our DM to Sussman soon enough. Although, based on how insane we've been on our last few shows, I don't know. I think that the format for the Saturday Star Trek show is safe and does not need much changing at all. I'm not worried. We did feel bad and we were not thrilled when we found out what happened to anti-derivative Jill. It's too bad. However, I spent a lot of time reading the rule.
Yeah, we got a good beat on what's going on now.
We should be fine. We also don't think that we forensically have any problems going back either. And with the cameras on now, we wish Jill the best of luck. Some cameras on most of the time, it's not going to steel man you. Based on what Jill posted on X, she's either not letting on because it is such an insulting thing for them to say to you, or she may not have an accurate read on what they meant when they told her it was inauthentic. I don't think they thought she was a machine.
No, I don't think they thought it was AI or anything like that. But with YouTube, you never know. Half the stuff they say is
fanciful,
completely pulled out. Yeah, fanciful. That's a good way to put it.
For instance, we are encouraged to have similarity and branding, but if your show is too much the same or you have the same background and you look like you're not putting any effort into it, they will call that like just too cookie cutter. I had to learn what easily replicatable at scale means. I resent that YouTube gives me so much legalese homework every month. It's becoming like 90 horrible minutes a month.
Yeah, it's almost like they think we work for them.
You know what I've been doing? I've been uploading the YouTube video to Grok and having it just tell me what it meant in bullet points. It saved me so much time.
Yeah, might as well get one robot to interpret another.
She's not struck. She's demonetized. She is good. She's allowed to stream. She retains full streaming privileges. She didn't lose her subs. She didn't lose her channel. She was demonetized. It's in her X. She posted it on her X. I was concerned because of some of the things that were similar about the shows, like serialized reviews. There's no actual rule against serialized reviews. After I took the information she gave me and processed it through several AIs and ran it by several OIs, the organic intelligence of people like Germ and Sean and other people, we got a handle on the rule. We still weren't fully in touch with the rule at the member stream, which it's going to be a while before we try that particular type of member stream again, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we'll be doing the more traditional style member streams where it's just for members.
Maybe it'll stream live on Rumble.
Yeah, that we can do that. Rumble's a little bit more forgiving.
Sir! All right, Jerm. I think we've had an amazing March. What do you think the high point of March was? Starfleet Academy? It has to be, right?
Well, yeah, for the numbers alone.
It was incredible and an incredible journey to go on with everybody to see possibly the worst television show of all time ever made. And when I say that, I don't say that lightly. I mean, we've seen things that you people wouldn't believe. I mean, these were some of the absolute worst television, some of the worst entertainment. I mean, Section 31 now seems like medium quality, like almost enviably well done story compared to this. The free fall in quality has not ended. His attempt to redeem himself and to have some kind of some kind of like rebranding, because my personal feeling, Jerm, I don't know if you agree, because we got two projects where the Star Trek name was so small in the branding, and they were trying with Section 31, and then again later with, Starfleet Academy. It's like Star Trek Section 31, Star Trek Starfleet Academy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they realized they had drug that name through the mud, and so they're trying too late to get something semi-unique, but
It's sort of
they
like what I
already
say.
jumped that ship.
It's sort of what I always say about the New York Jets, Germ. Have you ever watched a Jet game with me where they wore their black uniforms? And I say the same thing every time. So they've told the Jets that they've been traded to the Steelers, giving them new uniforms and hope that they'll play better. They're just dumb enough to believe it. It's the same thing,
Oh
right?
yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. Alex Kurtzman's Star Trek has failed over and over. Starfleet Academy is an idea. We traced its lineage back to the kiddie pals that were going to be like hanging out with the TAS Enterprise crew, and that was laughed at by the original Star Trek people. The dip of the toe into Starfleet Academy. Every single good thing about Starfleet Academy we got Boothby, we got the Culvert Star Maneuver, we got Locarno, and we got the extension with the tail of Ensign Seatall, where we got to see that Jean-Luc Picard is in fact a piece of shit in that episode, isn't he? Lower Decks is the episode title.
Yeah.
Or is it Ensigns of Command? Where they send her in the pod to Cardassian territory.
I believe it's Lower Decks.
You're involved in a cheating scandal at the Academy. I won't send another officer. I believe that if you do this, you have redeemed yourself. No one else deserves to take the risk. What kind of piece of shit thing is that to say? Or is that decent command? It's like, she's a liar. She's compromised. She got someone killed. She's got blood on her hands by criminal level of hazing. Should she be forced to go further? Was Picard right?
Well, by his own morals, no. Because he knew he was ordering her to die for basically no reason.
He knew it was 50-50 or less. It wasn't a one-way mission. It wasn't a kamikaze mission.
He was lying to himself if he thought she was ever coming back.
It was pretty high risk.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
All right, we've got Sean Carter with, I've seen people. Oh my God. I've seen things your people wouldn't believe. Like a Teags off the coast of Normandy. Teague drawing the Chancellor on MS Paint. You know what? Let's show that avatar just for a moment. What was more fun than when Admiral had the MS Paint avatar? Maybe I'll embiggen it for a moment. It was a stick figure man of no particular significance. And our friend Mr. Tonic Madman with a $5 generous United States super chat says to me, sir, where Starfleet Academy is going, they won't need eyes. Yeah. Oh my God. Liberate me. That the USS Athena, I would rather be. Where would you, Germ? Which ship would you rather be on, the USS Athena or the Event?
Oh, it's a tough call.
I think it's the Event Horizon.
Yeah, endless suffering no matter where you go. It really depends on your particular choice of chaos god.
Sooner or later, like a switch is going to flip in your brain and you're going to like the pain and you'll be like, I'm okay with this. It's like, the people who want to find the puzzle box in, what are those movies called? Hellraiser.
Hellraiser, yeah.
You a Hellraiser fan?
It's okay. It's not one of
First
my
one's
favorites.
still the best, right?
Yeah.
I want to thank Miss Catonic Madman and Sean Carter for the very generous $5 super chats. Yeah, March was the month of Starfleet Academy. March was a great month. Everybody put in a great effort. I want to thank my entire panel. I want to thank my co-host. You've done an excellent job all through March. Did it feel like we just never stopped streaming for like a whole month?
Yeah, it was a pretty heavy month for streams.
This is something I want to promise everybody out there. We're not going to be intimidated, and we're not going to back off reviewing Star Trek, the original series, next. We're going to finish off with Enterprise, and we're going to do our own tangential review style that you've become used to. And in fact, that is not going to, there's no compromise on that one. I don't care. And I see yet another anomaly.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
West Kegel, savior of the universe, says, hell, Sean Carter. Victory. Today is your day. Is that the pride flag or the trans acceptance flag? That's the trans acceptance flag.
Yeah, that's the one.
The pride flag is the rainbow one. Have you noticed the people with the rainbow flags are nowhere near as unpleasant as the people with this flag? In fact, sometimes people with the rainbow flags can be okay. Their goals were met in like 2007. They're not advocating for anything anymore.
Their goals were met in the early 1990s.
Yeah, that particular segment of society has, there was a couple of states that still weren't with it, but like the needle has moved to where no one really cares about gay marriage that much anymore. It had been very divisive. Now, I think what happened is with all the goals of the gay community being accomplished, there are people who only make money when there's friction in society. So they found this whole thing where if I don't if I'm unsure about my orientation or my gender, we can just like farm that for content and for like self-help books and for like weird clothes and for like movies where we intentionally ugly up women and other like bad Star Trek takes and other shit like that. What do you think, sir?
It's definitely a racket. Personally, I've known some surgeons who are not on the most ethical side of things who have been taking government money to perform certain things that are going to get them in a whole lot of trouble in about 15 years.
If you're talking about the reassignment surgery, it definitely seems like some of the first people who go through it are now coming back quite unhappy, saying it was a phase and their parents fucked them up. That's basically what we're hearing. Is that what you're talking about?
And they're taking government money to do a lot of this too.
This has to stop because I was doing some research. Do you know that there are states that don't have any trans athletes at all?
Yeah, there are a few of them out there.
There are entire states of this nation that don't have any trans athletes at all. If anyone tries to run another political campaign with that as your issue, you're going to lose every time. If they run Harris again, they're certainly going to lose again. She's overly identified with the identity politics. It's getting worse before it gets better because I believe what's happening, Germ, tell me if I'm not right here as we get ready to say goodbye to our friends. Identity politics is dying an ugly fucking death in front of us.
Yeah, it's dying an ugly death, but it's also dying a slow death. We need it to pick up the pace a bit.
But since it is in fact not going to recover, are you enjoying watching it twitch and squirm and groan and beg for water and stuff like that? I kind of am. I feel like ever since like it started showing up in movies and especially starting in Star Trek in 2009, that I've really hated this mystery box storytelling, this woke message storytelling, and the way that we've just had this basically shoved down our fucking throats for decades now. A decade and a half, really.
A little longer than that.
It's 17 years since Trek 09. That's the beginning of it in my mind. I can't think of anything before that moved the needle or was socially impactful that we heard about. Foxy Brown was not a movie that was woke.
Yeah, that's a good place to start.
What, you want to start with Foxy Brown or Trek 09?
Trek 09.
Yeah, let's not put it on.
Just out here, right? It's been a little bit longer. We've been dealing with this.
You have to live with it.
Yeah, since like 1999, 2000, we were the beta test for all this crap out here.
All right, so 20,000 people live on my block because there's filled with apartment buildings and stuff like that, and the blocks are teeming with people. But I've noticed that somewhere along my subway line, not maybe at my station, but somewhere along my subway line, I see two they thems. Now remember, I walk 5 blocks, so 100,000 people, right, into a subway station, and then on the train, and sometimes I'll see this they them, right? They're not believable. They need a shave, and they're doing it like bottom tier, and I don't mean that in any other way than no cash, and it's unconvincing, and the person looks real insane. I also have a coworker who went female to male, the Chaz Bono style.
Yeah, that's the more unfortunate one.
That person is well adjusted, does fine, and is making tons of money and is normal. They make a whole lot more money than me, and they're really level headed and cool. So,
that is,
what
to say the least, an abnormality among that
that's
community.
what I've been told statistically. So, what I'm saying is, in one day, because I live in a city of 8 million people, I will see two. One is everything people say, leering at me on the subway, looking weird, looking like they're like going to like cause themselves a problem by staring people down and stuff like that, and believing a little too much that they're a lot more convincing, shall we say, than they are. And I don't care about that person. I'll leave them alone whether they bother me or not. Live your life. There's that one I think has a screw loose, and they would have a screw loose no matter what, whether they had done this stuff or not. The other person seems to be all right, but I have to live in a city of 8 million people to run into two ever. And I can count. The time I see two, and the times I've seen both in one day, I could count on one hand in the last 2 years. So,
Yeah,
there are entire states without this problem, and it has to stop being a political issue. The only real issue is men doing it in a woman's sport, because when women come to play men's sport, I mean, okay,
yeah,
fine.
Well, we'll deal with that the first time it ever happens.
Intersectional boxing. It's the men going into women's sports. The thing is, we might be talking less than 200 people nationwide, aren't we?
The ones with the legitimate problem.
Most states
Yeah,
laugh this shit off. Most states will laugh this shit off and not even deal with it. New York won't deal with it. New York has like a combined category for that.
Yeah, out here it is severely pushed.
It's not a big thing in this town, and I don't think it's something that would sell on the East Coast. I think that the Democratic Party has to go through some sort of like searching of their soul if they think that this is the way to go. But I mean, look at their leaders.
We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't.
This is a personal massager.
That's your messages from the left right now. That's what they got. They have bad Star Trek and poorly led political chants by guys who definitely should not be in leadership positions of any kind. Do you think Representative Meeks pumping his cane in the air was a symbol of political potency while the leader of the party falls down and forgets what he's saying? Was that maybe the lowest moment of their entire party's 21st century?
Lowest moment for him, particularly.
He is their 21st century, though. He's had far too much power in our lives for a long time. The only useful thing he's done is force the credit card companies to put that box in your statement that shows you how fast you'll be underwater if you don't pay it off.
Yeah, but I think there are some people who've done worse. The wine mom, they just ran for president.
That was a terrible mistake. And, we'll end with Jerry O'Connell, I guess. We haven't heard any more from Rebecca Romaine or Jerry O'Connell. They have gone radio silent. Do you think that this poor man is getting ready to move out, or do you think that he is just living in the pool house, or do you think that they're in marriage counseling, or do you think that they're like, we played that one very well?
He's on the couch weeping, hoping she doesn't come back downstairs.
Unless she did a lot of fucking working out and shit to be Mystique, I'd be on that couch relieved that I didn't have to I didn't have to stick it to her. Fuck that. Rebecca Romaine hasn't looked like Rebecca Romaine. You marry Rebecca Romaine and you go home to Una Triple Chin Riley. When she's walking around with the huge beer belly in Strange New Worlds, does she look like the supermodel we fell in love with? Does she look like Mystique?
Not even close.
And what was going on with that fucking wig they gave her? Did they cut her hair to give her the really short Mystique haircut that she had when she was Mystique? Is that and when she came back to Strange New World, she's like, "Fuck y'all, I don't give a shit," because they don't give a fuck about anyone but her. She's the most amazeballs thing on the show, and like most of the heavy lifting is done by Melissa Navia, and her and Anson Mount, they get the star treatment. And Nuhura, I think she's related to somebody too. So she's a Nepo hire as well. It's just the worst over there. And, as far as Alex Kurtzman, you know what? Let's get a soundbite from someone who understands Alex Kurtzman.
The word decent doesn't apply to me.
Why can't we get more great TV like that, Jerm? Why are we stuck with the Alex Kurtzmans of our world?
We may never know.
All right. So listen, to change things up, I'm going to do a different kind of outro today than the one we usually do, just for the hell of it. We're going to end with the beginning, but first, I guess I should say, can I finish? Jerm, what's going on with your channel this week?
We have the Enterprise Watch Party on Saturday, Monarch Sunday, and we'll have Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla 2 on Monday.
All right. And Sunday night around here on this channel, I don't know if we're doing anything or not yet. We'll see. I love you all. It's been an amazing March. I thank you. When I see you next, don't get fooled tomorrow. People are going to be asking you all sorts of questions that, someone will pull an April Fool's. Who knows what it might be. So, don't walk under any ladders. And Jerm, will you be going out to the casino on April Fool's Day to celebrate it? Is that how you celebrate? Well, that's just an average day.
That's my average day now.
All right, everybody. We love you all. And, a quick outro today. Bye. We'll see you guys on Thursday, most likely. If not, Friday, Northern English Bastard is going to join me for an afternoon discussion. Hopefully, Jerm can be there. It should be like 4 o'clock my time. So like 1 o'clock your time. We're going to try to get some of my British friends on the air over here and have a little hangout with Northern English Bastard.
We'll see.
All right. Well, I'll at least have that for you. That's planned for this Friday. And I want to thank everybody who is out there in this stream. Saving Star Trek is brought to you by the genius of Gene Roddenberry, occasionally by the idiocy of Alex Kurtzman, and by the 3,258 Star Trek mad people who have joined the channel. And you are, as Count Dankula says, are these people absolute mad lads or what, Jerm?
No, definitely.
And it's also bought by viewers like you, including generous grants from Wes Cagle, Miskatonic Madman, Sean Carter, RRTNZ, Krimlon, JT Kirk, Ruby who started off with a gifted membership and a super chat. I can't thank all of you enough for what you've done. This has been a fantastic March for the channel as far as engagement and great numbers. I thank all of you for what you did for us. I thank everyone who's a community member. And we will be back Thursday or Friday. We'll find out. But here we go. We're going to end it with, some puppetry. This outro dedicated to our friend Snowdub. We salute you, Snowdub, sir. And also, before I go, let's just thank everybody who was here. Let's see. I think it was, if I can try to get everyone I can who mentioned or at least showed up. And if you come through later, hit the like and follow. Anyone lurking, thank you so much.
Doesn't anyone see that this is wrong?
No, it's wrong. It's not wrong for me to thank my friends. I want to thank Jonathan Hancock, Sith Dan, Sci-Fi Sith Dan, aka the Sci-Fi Historian, Roman of the Empire, Lombardi 1969, Jason Love, Rocco the Brave, Ruby Hoove, Sig Volderson, Jamie Lynn Simmons, John the Beagle Dad, The Real Head Case, Radioactive, Wes Cagle, RRTNZ, Miskatonic Madman, JT Kirk, Crimwan, and Sean Carter. Friends and colleagues, all, anybody who wants, jump in now and we'll have a little talk from the Star Trek show. I'll throw the pass into the Star Trek meetup place so that we can put our heads together for next week. Or if anyone wants to talk, I will hang out in the studio for 10 minutes to see if anyone wants to chill. But that's in group for a business meeting. That's not a member meeting. That's if anybody needs to talk to me and for my streaming buddies so that we can get some stuff planned. But with that, as in the words of the great Ozzy Osbourne, we love you all.